Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I actually got out of my bed to do this video because as I was laying there, all these thoughts just come rushing in. And they're the kind of thoughts that, I mean, if they were sung lyrics, you know, you get up and you write them down, because I used to do that all the time. Middle of the night, I get up, write on a piece of paper. I'm at work, I'm writing on paper. Then when I get home, I collectively put together and come up with something pretty beautiful, you know. So it's on the lines of that, but it's not lyrics. It's just some things that I want to share. And some people my age gonna be like, man, I thought I was the only one that thought like that. Or, you know, that's cool, man, because I always felt that way too. And then for the young folks, it's like, wow, you know, thanks for the information, you know, because I spent a lot of time when I was younger hanging around older guys, because they could share some experience with me that I haven't experienced yet, because I'm smart enough to listen. There's some people, they just so stupid they won't even listen. It's like, even though you tell them something's going to benefit them or even save their lives, they ain't trying to listen. You know, I was just the opposite. Talk, brother. Please talk. Keep talking. Don't stop talking. You know, so I'm going to entitle this video, My Dad and Joe, and why I miss Joe so much. Because I spent a lot of time with Joe. A whole lot of time with Joe. And I enjoyed almost every moment of that, because we had our moments, you know. But with my dad, what makes it different, and I'm speaking from my generation perspective, and the guys that my age can say, dude, you hit the nail right on the head. You're right. Me and my dad didn't spend a lot of time together. And when I just make that statement before really going into detail, people like, y'all just didn't have a good relationship. I feel sorry for you. No, not at all. You know, we loved and respected each other. But my father had an extremely big role. You know, he was the father of 10 kids. All of us came from him and my mama, not my mom and another dude, or my dad and another woman. You know, just all of us came from them two people, you know, back in that day. You know, nowadays it's totally different. It's just the opposite. You know, Dad, you and your mama and your daddy had those 3 kids, all of y'all? Yeah. You know, well, my daddy don't live with us. I live with another dude that's married to my mom, you know. And that's so unfortunate. It really is, because you really cheat your children when you do that. But you got some people, they don't think about that. They have no foresight to say, this might not be a good idea right now. It's going to blow up in my face years later, you know. But once you make that mistake, you can't take it back. But anyway, the reason why I'm doing this video, because there's just a lot of things I thought about. And I understand now, and even as I got older, I understood my father's role in the 60s and the 70s, you know. I remember watching TV, and you would always see these husbands. They in the bar. As soon as they get off work, they go sit in the bar for 5-6 hours, get drunk, go staggering home. And the majority of them didn't want to go home. You know, they didn't want to be there. And you ask yourself, man, why don't they want to be there? And that's because society has created a condition for them that they thought was beneficial to them, or should I say, they followed it. And everything that society puts out there, well, for the most part, it's good. You know, like they tell you, hey, don't go stealing. You know, don't go doing these other things that are negative and might get you in trouble or kill. Totally understand that. But there are some things that don't fit you personally, but you fall into that. I guess, cycle, because this is what is expected of you. Even though it doesn't fit you personally, this doesn't work for you. And again, a lot of these things that are out there, that society put out there as far as rules and regulations of living, they work. You know, they fit you. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to do that, or I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to get up and go to work, you know, go to school, you know, obey my parents. But there's some things that don't work, you know, and one of them is, and I guess it's kind of quoted in the Bible. You know, sorry about this. I got to get me another cord. You know, be fruitful and what's that? Be fruitful and damn, I can't really remember word for word or quote unquote, but be fruitful and have a bunch of children. And as you guys know, especially in this day and age. That don't work. I remember when, because like I said, my mother and father had 10 kids, and it's a lot of stress. You think about that, it's a lot of stress for two people. It's a lot of stress for your mom because she's, at this point, most likely she's just at home. She's a housewife. She got to deal with 10 kids all day long. It's rough dealing with one. Then you got your father, who has to be responsible financially for all these kids and your mama. So it's a lot of stress for those people in that situation back then. That's why most of them, when they got off work, they want to just go somewhere and just have a little bit of peace of mind for a couple of hours and, drink and get drunk amongst friends and then stagger home at the end of the night, and mama heat up some dinner for daddy, and then he eat and he take a shower and go to bed. The next morning he get up and repeat that cycle. Get up, go to work, then go to the bar, then come home. So, and I'm not going to say that my father fit that to a T. Not to a T. I think he did go out and get drunk, or sometimes he didn't spend a lot of time in the house, because I don't recall seeing him as much as I seen my mother, So I totally understand that, and that's what makes my dad and Joe different, that anytime I felt like talking to an older, wiser person, I could just call Joe or just go spend time with him, go to the breakfast, or just he come over here and had coffee in the morning. I can't remember having those kind of moments with my father because he was so spread it out so thinly, because he had 9 other kids to take care of. Then he had my mother to spend time and be a part of, being a husband to her. So I totally understand that. And I think, and I'm going to say this, and by no means don't take this as offensive or arrogant, but even as a kid, I remember feeling a certain way to say, I know what I'm supposed to do this. Even though everybody or society is telling me to do this, this doesn't work for me, And I was able to avoid a lot of things. And one of them was having a whole bunch of kids. I love children. I do. You love that innocent. You enjoy that time you spend with them. Some of my best moments of my life, if I leave here today, is when my child was small. We spent a lot of time together. Just me and her watching Barney, watching Blue's Clues, Those are some very cherished moments that you'll never get back, So now I'm losing my train of thought because I got so much up here I want to get out in a coherent manner. But I think one of them was also just the time that I was able to spend with Joe versus my dad. And you always want to feel that you got an older person that you can go to and just talk to, because you feel a little better when you're talking to somebody older and a little wiser, as opposed to somebody your own age or somebody younger, So that is one reason why, I miss Joe so much, because we spent a great deal of time together. We were able to do things that I was not able to do with my dad. And again, I understand why my dad, we didn't spend that much time together. If perhaps there was just, me, another sibling, and my mom may be totally different, but again, society told him that this is okay to do this, even though your wallet tells you no, society tells you go ahead and do this, and I'm going to share this, and I shouldn't share this, but you guys know me. I keep it real, and I try to be respectful. I don't try to be disrespectful or negative, or just disrespectful or negative. And what I'm about to say, this statement that I'm about to say, just about every guy that's going to probably fall out of his chair, because he's damn right, man. You're right. You're right. I remember those statements. And when it's usually when you're a single dude and you're trying to get to know somebody. Now, this is totally different from somebody that they're not going to be in your life that long. And that's okay, too, because there's some people that ain't meant to be in your life for 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, 30 years, maybe a year, maybe 6 months, That's just the gist of it. And that's the reality of it. It's not that it's a bad thing. Because some of the people you don't want in your life for 20, 30 years anyway, and vice versa. They might not want you in theirs. But, for the people that you're seeing, and you're going to have some kind of decent relationship with, and at some point in time, the man wants to make his move, and you know what I'm talking about. And the woman says this, well, I haven't known you that long. I need to get to know you a little better. And you know what my response to that was? Whether you fuck me today or 12 months from now, I'm the same dude. What you see right now is what you get. There's not going to be nothing worse. And hopefully it's going to be something better and surprising. And I've had some women say, you know what? You make a lot of sense. Let's go. You know? Because it's like, what's holding us up other than a group of people called society that you never met, but yet they're going to dictate to you in your personal business or personal life, this is what you should do. Again, a lot of times, in most cases, some of the things that are put out there by society, it works, you know. So, okay, I'm not going to go out there stealing or just whatever. You know, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be hardworking and honest. But there's some things you as an individual have to say, I got to make a decision here. Not a group of people that I've never met and they're going to tell me this is right for me. You know, because one size don't fit all, you know, it just doesn't, you know, so that's interesting, you know, because at some point in time, all of us guys in most cases are going to experience that. We see somebody we want to get to know, and then we having a relationship, and it's that time, and, you know, society has told that woman, you need to wait a little longer because that's what women do. And I understand that, but again, there are just some situations you got to make your own decision. And you kind of have to adjust it or tweak it to your personal preference or personal life. Because, and I forgot I was going to mention this. I got one daughter. Love her to death. I don't want no more kids. You know, never did want any more kids. And one of the questions that me and my wife used to get all the time, I used to get sick of hearing. When you going to have some more? When you going to have some more? No, none, never, no more. We're done. And my reason is, there's a couple of reasons why I feel this way. One is, I don't want my daughter, and it's unfortunate because it's a done deal, she's here. I don't want my daughter to inherit this world, you know. It's worse than it was when I was growing up, and it's going to be worse than it is now, probably 100 years from now if we're still around here. I just didn't want to put anybody through that. And I didn't want to be responsible for somebody that I have to put through that, you know, because it's not going to be easy for her. There's some aspects in her life now are going to be harder than they were for me because of the different generations, you know. And the second one was financially. I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I can only do it once. You know, I can't afford to have a second, a third, or fourth child because I don't have that kind of money to send 4 kids through college without breaking the bank for everybody. You know, I'm like, okay, I can do one. We can do one. You know, we got enough financial resources to propel her into the stratosphere. You know, send her to school, get a good job, good college education. Because you gotta have paper. You know, you gotta be certified. You gotta go and get a degree. You know, because we live in a society. I'm gonna tell it like it is. It's like a division: the educated people and the poor broke people. You know. And which group of people you want to belong to, you know? Because society looks at these groups of people differently. They treat these groups of people differently. I'm like, I want to be on this side. I don't want to be over here, you know? And I'm like, okay, we can do that for one child because we don't want her to be over here, you know? And there's nothing wrong with the people that are over here other than they just didn't have the opportunity and the means to get over there. That's it. You know, that's the only difference between the two people. So, you know, I was thinking like this when I was in my late teens, early 20s. It's like, okay, if I do have one, you know, we can do the one, but we can't do 2 or 3, you know. And I don't want to not be able to provide for my children. Because I think the worst label that, and I can speak only for myself, the worst label that I can give myself or society can give me, he was not a good dad, okay? I could deal with everything else. You know, maybe he wasn't a good husband, maybe he wasn't a good boyfriend, or maybe he wasn't a good coworker. But that's one label that I do not want to have. That is one label that I do not want to have. And thank God I haven't been given that label because I've done my best to provide for my child, you know, really. You know, but I guess that's all I want to say and explain why losing Joe is worse than losing my dad. You know, that's why. It has nothing to do with not loving one more than the other or loving one less than the other. Like I said, losing Joe is like, well, he was my best friend, you know, and I no longer have my best friend. I no longer have an older guy. that I can call and talk to and get some good information from, can grow from the things that he shared with me, And I wasn't able to have that with my dad. I had some of that, but not on the level that I had with Joe. So I guess I'm gonna leave you with that. Cherish the older people in your life. Check on them, call them, make sure they're okay, especially during the pandemic. If they need something, even before they're gonna ask you, or they just probably want to ask you, go provide it to them. Joe has an older sister, and I affectionately call her mama, because my mama left in 2006, so she's the closest thing to mama to me, and what I'm gonna try my best to do, since Joe is no longer with her, just to make sure she have everything she needs. I call every couple of days, say, hey, you need anything? Or I'll be bringing over toilet paper and some eatery, some food, and things of that nature, whatever I think she might need. Like I said, call on a regular basis, make sure to let her know that there are people that still care about her, for her welfare, her well-being. Are you okay? If you need anything, we just a phone call away. We all should try to do that for everybody. We all should just try to be helpful to everybody, to each and every person, because you don't never know when you might need somebody. Don't burn the bridges that you think you might have to recross one day. But I need to go back over there. I burnt that bridge last year, and it was my fault. I shouldn't have burnt that bridge. The problem that we had was as a result of me, not that other person. That's kind of different. It's the other person. So I don't need you no more. Let me rip up that dynamite, because I don't want to go across that bridge again in my life. But I just thought I would, post this video because it's just something that I feel. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there feel the same way. And you might say, man, Morris, man, you're right, dude. I remember them days, and, and Daddy was not there. It's not because he didn't want to be there, just that it was too much stress for him to take on raising up 10 kids, even though society said it was okay and, you should do this. And now he realized, I can't pull this off, not in the manner that I want. But until next time, take care, and Happy New Year's to you guys if I didn't say that before.